What's up guys, Theran Crouch here with Midwest Maniac Outdoors, and today I'm coming at you with a little bit different episode than what we're used to. In this episode, I'm going to go over buying a bow, and I'm going to keep it super simple. I'm going to keep it down to about 4 things that everyone needs to know. I've been shooting a bow with my dad since I was about 7 or 8, so you could say pretty well my whole life, definitely my whole outdoor career. And even I still come run into some of these problems. You know, I question myself when I'm buying bows, so I figured someone who's just now wanting to get into this, you know, they probably don't know it either. Now, I will put a disclaimer on this. If you're a veteran of the woods, you've shot your whole life, and you really understand bows, and you all know all that, this is probably not for you. This is going to be a super elementary video on just 3 or 4 things that you need to look to when you're going into a bow shop. Those 4 things you need to look for are your draw length, your draw weight, your axle to axle, and a bare bow versus a loaded bow. I'm going to start out with your draw length. So on your draw length, that is going to be how far you can pull a bow back. Now, there's a couple different ways you can find your draw length. I recommend just going into the bow shop and having it done for you, because that's really not something you want to be too far off on. Now, I will say if you're off, you would much rather have your draw length be too short versus too long. Both be Now, obviously, either one's not going to be ideal to be too short or too long, but I will say it is easier to adjust to shooting a shorter draw length. You know, someone that's 6'5" is not going to have the same exact draw length as someone that is 5'6". So when I say you go into the shop, they'll measure it for you, but you can also get an idea at home. So the way you'll get that idea is you can take your wingspan, so pretty relaxed, you know, arms out, and whatever that number is in inches, you're going to divide that by 2.5, and that's going to give you a rough estimate. But if you go get in a shop, you can get it pretty well right on the money. Now, I do recommend if you're buying a bow for someone that's younger, or you are a younger hunter and you're really not 100% sure, you're still growing, then there are tons of options out there for grow with you bows. I know Bear makes a model. The Matthews Mission just came out with a model called the Hammer. It's a very short bow, but still shoots real quick. Poundage can go up to 70 pounds and it grow with you. So when I say that, I mean up on the cams, there's a 1 screw adjustment that you can take out. You can take it all the way up to about 29 inches, all the way down to, like, I don't even remember it, 20 something inches. I mean, it's super low, super high. My younger brother, we got him one when he was young. He's now grown 7 or 8 inches. He's around 6 foot. He can still shoot that bow. So those grow with you bows are super good. Now, here's the biggest one, and this is the one that seems to be the biggest problem, and it's your draw weight. And when I say the biggest problem, if you're a girl, you can probably skip the next 30 seconds, because this is a big problem, a really big problem, a very big macho problem among men, and that's your draw weight. All the guys in the world want to shoot a 70-pound draw. It sounds cool, you seem tough, and you seem really strong, but in reality, not everybody's built for 70 pounds. 70 pounds is a lot of weight to pull back, especially when you're shooting a lot. And by a lot, I mean with practice. Also, when that deer comes in, he wins you, and then he has to run a couple yards, and you're sitting there and you're stuck holding because you're busted, and you're holding that bow for 30 seconds or longer. 70 pounds gets really heavy, really quick. And then you think, was it worth it being that tough? It's not. Your best bet for your draw weight is to find something that's comfortable. Honestly, anything above 40 pounds at the right distance and the right arrow is going to do the job. You're going to kill. It's all about shot placement. If you have the right broadhead, it's close enough, and you have the right arrow spine, which that's a little bit further down the line for you to learn, you're fine. Now, is shooting 70 pounds cool? I guess. I've personally never asked someone the poundage of their bow. I think I'd be more concerned if you killed the deer. I don't look at pictures and say, oh, that's a nice deer. What's the poundage on your bow? But anyways, it's a real thing. It's 100% a real thing. Why? I don't know, because that's how us men are wired. We want to be strong. We want to be tough. Why are we like that? Anyways, the real importance of your draw weight and the poundage you pull back is comfortability. Are you comfortable to go out and fling 30, 40 arrows in a day to practice, to make sure you're good to shoot, make sure you're going to have your best chance at harvesting that animal in a timely, proper manner? Because come on, let's be honest, we all do it. I've done it too many times, more than I like to admit. We make bad shots. That's extremely rude. That hurts. It's not fun to watch. It's not fun to take care of in the end, and it's not fair to the animal. So having a comfortable draw weight is such a big deal, because if you can't practice, you can't put in the time, you can't send enough arrows down range, and honestly, you don't need to be in the woods. You're not ready yet. Another thing, now we're talking axle to axle. What is axle to axle? This is axle to axle, here to here. How tall is your bow? So now that's gonna vary. Your average hunter is gonna run around 30 to 32 inches. I think 32 is probably gonna be your most average number of axle to axle. That's a pretty comfortable bow, but once again, comes the comfortability for yourself. I prefer a shorter bow. I'm not a big guy, so I don't want something that's 34 inches. To me, that's a little overkill. I want something that I can maneuver around in my tree and feel fine. Now, with that being said, I had a buddy of mine text me last week. He's a former collegiate offensive lineman. He's 6'5". He's a big dude. Obviously, I'm not going to tell him to go get a 30-inch axle-to-axle bow. Probably doesn't have his draw length. Excuse me. Anyways, so you know that's going to vary in difference there. But with that being said, if I wanted a 34-inch axle-to-axle bow, being a shorter gentleman, I still could. My draw length's still going to fit in there. So I guess in retrospect, it's really not fair to big people. How's it taste? But again, that's going to be a comfortability thing. That's really the biggest prospect when you're looking to buy a bow, is how comfortable are you with said bow. Now, if you're getting a bow to hunt versus getting a bow just to shoot, get your legless on, you know, fling a few arrows and just have fun and target shoot, that is going to play a little bit of a difference. I know a lot of target shooters prefer that longer axle to axle. As a hunter, you can go you can go a longer axle to axle, but in reality, a shorter axle to axle is going to be good. Like I said, if you're comfortable, none of it matters. And last but not least, we're going to talk a bare bow versus a loaded bow. When I say a bare bow, I don't mean like the animal bear. I don't mean the company of bear. I mean like bear, like bear naked, is like when you came out of your mother's womb. That kind of bear. So there's no sights, there's no stabilizer, there's no rest, there's nothing on it. It's what your bow's gonna MSRP at. This is usually what you're going to see at a lot of shops, hanging up together because they are newer. Loaded bows are predominantly going to be used. I say predominantly because that's what you're going to see the most. Now, there are bare bows that will come with bow kits, so they actually will have stuff, which would still be considered a loaded bow. But for the most part, your loaded bows are going to be old, used bows. For instance, myself, I've shot a Matthews Outback, which is a 2005 model, forever. Killed tons of animals with it. It shoots as good as any bow on the market. Why? Because I am comfortable. You're probably tired of hearing me say comfortable. So I'm gonna trade that in. Probably gonna leave everything on it and get a few extra dollars for it, and maybe hopefully help someone out. Because when you buy a bow like that, that takes a little bit less thinking. It might cost a little more than what that bow would come in bare, but it's a little less thinking. Why? Well, you already probably have a sight. You already probably have a stabilizer. There's already probably a rest. So that right there takes away some shopping. Thinking. Whoever had it probably had it set up. You might even get it where it's still sighted in pretty good. Occasionally you'll run into a super sick loaded bow. About a week ago, I ran into a diamond. I don't remember the exact model. Trophy Ridge 5-pin sight, 6 zero gravity rest, a nice little stabilizer on it, and orange strings. And we all know the cooler a bow looks, the better it shoots. I don't make the rules. Okay, I made that up. I don't know if that's true. Don't take my word for that. But like I said, it's a cool bow. It's already set up. It looks nice. It fit all my specs that I wanted. I just didn't have the money at the time, so I didn't buy it. So bare bow versus loaded bow, it's whatever you want to do, whichever route you want to take. Either one works. Just buy what fits you the best. That's what it comes down to all in the end. So I hope this video helps you. I covered those 4 things: your draw length, your draw weight, your axle to axle, and bare bow versus loaded bow. In reality, you can take those 4 things on a list, walk into some bow shop and say, hey, some random guy on the internet told me to do this, and they're gonna help you out, find you a bow like that. It's their job. They're professionals. But even with myself hunting my entire life, I know what it feels like to feel dumb and be scared to ask questions like these. You know, they seem super basic, but in reality, if you don't know it, you don't know it. There's nothing wrong with that. This industry can kind of be cutthroat sometimes, and people can be jerks. But in the end, get what's comfortable for you. Those 4 points that I just covered are a good place for you to start with if you are looking for a bow. If I have one other piece of advice, and this actually might be the biggest piece of advice over all of them, and that is, don't buy the first bow you pick up. Don't do it. Bows are like puppies. The first one you pick up, you're gonna want to take it home. Don't do it. There's honestly probably 10 different bows that'll fit you just fine. So what I'm saying, try all of them. Go in there, spend 2 hours shooting every single bow in that shop. Make sure that you give every single one of them a chance. So my biggest piece of advice, try them all. Every single one of them. It's 2020, people. These bows will kill. I promise. It's all about you, how comfortable you are, and your shot placement. So I hope this video helped, and until next time, y'all have fun. I hope you find a bow of your dreams. That was a little intense. You guys just have a good one, and until then, just, I don't know, like, share, and subscribe. Something like that. You don't have to, but it'd be a lot cooler if you did.